Welcome to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least at this point in time, to the first episode of season 6.
Pretty crazy. On to year 2 of our podcast.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how content do you feel this morning, Christina?
I don't know, maybe a 6.5.
It's still crazy high.
It's pretty low for me.
It's pretty low for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in a depression, but I'm not.
You're headed there.
Yeah.
You're spiraling.
No, I'm headed up.
Headed up.
Yes.
On your way up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you on a scale of 1 to 10?
How about a 1? Maybe a 2.
You're not that bad.
I feel pretty bad.
Maybe a 4.
Yeah. Just been working a lot.
Yeah.
We have to go to work right after this, so. Bummed, but excited.
You get to go to work.
Look at you. Look at you implementing everything I should actually believe. Well, cool. After that encouraging note, let's jump right in.
Welcome back to year 2. Or welcome to year 2 of our podcast. Hopefully we make it to next week.
Yeah,
there we go.
Hopefully we'll see. We'll make it.
Awesome. Well, this week we're going to hop right in and ask Caleb, what is something that you like or enjoy, at least this point in time?
Something that I like / enjoy at this point in time is something I've enjoyed for most of my life, which is pretty cool. Hadn't thought about that yet. But it's ground beef. Yeah.
We're going to do an episode on ground beef.
Yeah. What about that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's something you do like and enjoy, so it's valid. Yeah.
I feel like that lowered your contentment level a little bit. I feel like you're now at a 6.
No, I'm very excited to hear about your ground beef.
All right. Well, I'm titling today's segment as ground beef, delicious or dangerous?
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Pretty risky, right? I'm going to put like a hardcore beat right there. Just a rock beat. All right.
Like Screamo. Wow,
right.
that was quite the laugh.
So I know it went on for half of the episode right there. So ground beef is one of the most common ingredients in American kitchens and is a staple in dishes worldwide.
Worldwide?
Worldwide.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay. Moving on. So what is
just
ground
going to tear apart everything about this ground beef
Great.
episode.
And I'm just going to move past it. So what is ground beef? Do you know what ground beef is?
It is meat from a cow that is ground up. I'm not exactly sure what part of the cow. I've always guessed it's like the leftover bits, but probably not.
I didn't look that deeply.
Okay.
I just got, this is the definition, beef muscle, which is the beef muscle meat, specifically finely chopped using a grinder, or mincer. Or grounder. Typically, that's like a ball you hit in baseball.
Oh, baseball, yeah.
But
that, I mean, you could really throw it over and over, that baseball.
yes, you hit a grounder
at
into
the meat
a
muscle.
cow enough, you're going to get some ground beef.
Gross.
So it's typically labeled by fat content.
Yeah.
So 70 to 30 would be high fat, 80-20 or 90-10 would be lean.
Okay.
Okay. So 30% fat. So what I'm saying is 70% meat, 30% fat would be considered high fat ground beef, or 80-20 or 90-10 would be considered lean ground beef.
80-90. Okay.
80-20.
80-20.
And then 90-10. So 90% beef, 10% beef fat.
That'd be considered lean beef.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's commonly used in tacos, burgers,
Of course.
which we love.
It's my favorite way to consume it.
I think it might be your favorite thing ever. Pizza might be number one.
Yeah,
actually.
probably top 3 foods would be a burger.
What would the other 2 be?
Like a legit pizza, like a Neapolitan.
Okay.
And man, I really like bread.
It might just be bread. That might be the whitest answer I've ever heard in my life.
Well, it's because I don't have bread very often.
I know.
Maybe that's what I really like about the burger and
What
the
about
pizza
tacos?
is that it comes with bread.
You like tacos?
I do
a
really
lot.
like tacos.
Yeah.
Tacos, fajitas.
Could that be your third?
Yeah.
Third? Okay.
Something Mexican.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I got it.
There you go.
Year round.
So it's used in tacos, burgers, meatballs, spaghetti sauce, chili. So what we're saying here is it's extremely versatile. It's everywhere.
across many cuisines. Cuisines?
No, that's how you got it.
Cuisines?
You got it. Yeah.
I don't know if that's right. Cuisines.
Yes, croutons. So the history
That's
of
true.
this topic.
Italians got meatballs, Mexican,
Yeah, we just
all
had it
that.
in spaghetti the other day. that you made.
Lasagna.
It was super good.
Yeah, different countries use it. Mm-hmm. Cool.
So the history of this topic, ground meat concepts date back to ancient civilizations. So minced meat dishes in Rome and the Middle East are some of the earliest examples of this. Modern ground beef became popular in the 1800s, interestingly enough, with the rise of hamburgers.
Okay.
Yeah, so before that, it was just kind of like ground beef every once in a while. But since hamburgers in the 1800s, it really started
popular.
to pop off.
Cool.
Yeah. So White Castle in 1921 and McDonald's in the 1940s helped make ground beef a fast food staple.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
They helped popularize
Burgers.
meat.
Yeah. That's in White
crazy.
Castle and McDonald's.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought of. Yeah, because maybe like a diner or something like that. That'd probably be the closest thing to fast food at the time, or street carts. But yeah, straight up just ground beef burgers.
You like those places?
No.
Why?
I like to consume real meat, and I'm not sure that is.
Like real? You don't think they're using ground beef anymore?
Well, I think it is something. There's a little bit of meat in there, and a lot of fillers, and
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to those cows,
True.
or if they were cows.
True.
Over in Europe, they got caught using horse meat.
Did they really?
Yeah, and rabbit also in their
See,
nuggets.
I would pay higher dollar for horse meat. I want to try horse meat.
Okay.
Because it seems like a healthier meat. That horse has probably lived a better life than the cow.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah.
So using horse meat seems like a step forward.
Yeah. Seems sad to kill a horse, though. Like one of the saddest animals.
You don't know until you try it, I guess.
Yeah. Huh, let's go somewhere and eat some horse.
Or kill one.
I wonder where they serve it.
McDonald's in Europe. Moving on. So during the Great Depression and World War II, ground beef was a budget-friendly protein source for families, which is insane to think about because it's so expensive right now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was budget-friendly back then. Right now, it's like you got to be in the 1%, the top 1% to afford 90-10 ground beef.
Right. Some like good ground beef, not like Aldi's 75, 25. Just greasy looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, grease beef.
Yeah.
Thank you to my mom and dad, by the way, for
Yes.
giving us tons of ground beef. That's, farm raised ground beef, and they had it left over because they couldn't eat it. But still, that stuff is delicious. When
Yes.
you get it from a healthy cow,
Yes.
it's a
it
different
tastes
experience.
so different.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. So some facts about this topic. What?
This is just a ridiculous episode. It's fun.
You don't like it?
No, I just feel like we're interrupting each other constantly. Like nobody's
Oh, I'm
really.
sorry.
No,
I just interrupted.
I'm
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Go for it.
I'm just like, I keep interrupting you. It's
Yeah, that's all right.
just beef. There's so many ways you could go. Who knew?
Beef.
But not in India.
No, not
No,
in India
no.
for sure. No, no beef, no pork, none of that. So some facts about ground beef.
Do they not eat pork there?
I would assume not. I
Yeah,
mean,
probably not because
pork
of.
is nastier than beef in
But
most
no, they
religions.
think that beef is holy.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
I'm
you're
sorry,
thinking
I
of
got
like
that mixed
Islam
up.
and Judaism is the pork. I don't know. They might not eat pork in India.
If you had a religion, you started your own religion, what's the one meat you would stay away from?
Pork.
Pork.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's the second?
Probably like tuna or fish that have heavy metals in them.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So some facts about this topic of ground beef. Americans eat about 27 pounds of ground beef per person each year, and that seems really low
That
to me.
seems really low. Yeah.
Because I eat about twice that on a bad
but that's
year.
because when we do eat meat, you eat like a whole pound.
Do you remember? I was just thinking about this the other day. I made a full pound of ground beef, and you saw me making it, and then I think you said that you came back a couple hours later and you saw that I had eaten the whole pound of ground beef, and you said to yourself, "Oh God, help him." Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a lot.
It's not good for acid reflux and all
No.
that. It's just a lot of meat all at once. Oh God.
Whenever
Lord help him.
Whenever I have ground beef, I sleep standing up because I know I want that acid to just drain down into my tummy and not my throat. So a 3-ounce serving, another fact, a 3-ounce serving contains 22 grams of protein. That's a ton of protein.
Wow. So you had over 100 grams of protein
I was getting jacked.
in that pound of beef.
Jacked, babe.
That's pretty impressive. It's a good protein source.
Although the amount of fat in it as well is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So protein to fat ratio is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you consider that ratio, it's probably not worth it to eat an entire pound. It may be worth it to eat 3 to 4 ounces.
Or a quarter pound. It's like a typical serving size.
Quarter pound is a great serving size. Another fact would be that it's rich in iron, zinc, and vitamin B12, which are essential for brain function and energy. This is a fact that's a little bit in the negative column.
Okay.
So it's high in saturated fat and cholesterol,
Okay.
which increases the risk of heart disease. And it's more prone to bacterial contamination.
Yes.
Like E. coli. Unlike the whole cuts or the steaks out there, because bacteria more easily spreads during the grinding process when you're especially if it's like you're using the same equipment to continue grinding new batches.
Yeah.
It's hard to clean all of the ground beef out of that equipment.
Interesting.
And it's also easier for things and bacteria to get mixed in the process.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, it's fully exposed to the air, all parts of the meat, as opposed to a steak. It's just the outside of the steak, which is what you cook. Which I think we watched that documentary about a year ago about, it might have been...
Vegans versus meat eaters?
No, it was on food safety. And I think it was Jack in the Box. They were not cooking their burgers too well done. And tons of people were getting E. coli and salmonella and dying. So the director of the film was like, you should never order anything but a well done burger.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're of that same mind.
I'll do like maybe a little medium well, but if it's like real pink in there, I'm like, I don't know where that's been.
And now you've changed me to like go that direction as well, because I've had, since we've been married, you've mentioned that, and then I've had burgers that have been like a little raw in the middle.
It's just straight raw.
And it's just like the thought that that's just uncooked meat.
Yeah.
It's not like a steak where the whole steak has been cooked through and all the bacteria has been removed. That piece of uncooked meat still holds tons of bacteria.
Right.
And so the only way to do it is like get it done or well done.
Yeah, I think of it like a filled donut. It's like you cook the whole donut and then you just like pipe in raw ground beef into the middle.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You know?
Yeah.
Ugh. Don't do that. Yeah.
So a little bit about the environmental impact of ground beef. So beef production is responsible for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions.
The cows are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cattle being a major contributor.
Wow.
So ground beef is still cheaper per pound compared to steak, but prices have been rising due to supply chain and feed costs. That's the end of my facts section.
Well, isn't that why the ozone layer is a little thin over Australia? Because they have all the cows and the sheep.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. And it's their farts.
Could be the Australian parts. Have you seen how big those people are? Croaky.
Well, over in Australia, it was the first time I ever had minced meat, which is not something I generally would want to have again. It's something that they also have in like England, and so settled in Australia. But it's kind of the idea of having like taco meat, but it's just seasoned with kind of like roast seasonings like rosemary and basil, and it's like weird. If I'm going to have just straight ground beef, I want it to be in the form of taco meat, not just without anything else on it.
Yeah. That is strange. I've never had that before.
Yeah.
Minced meat.
Yeah. Just very large portions of it.
I'll have to do an episode on that.
Yeah.
So some practical advice about what to know about ground beef, just for you, because I know you love this subject so much. So opt for 90-10. So 90% beef, 10% beef fat to reduce the saturated fats in your diets.
Good.
So really, if you're ever going to buy ground beef, you got to go for the higher grade stuff. If you go for the 70-30, you're getting a lot of saturated fat, and that's elevating your risk for heart disease, like a lot. Over time, it can be it can take a real toll on your body. So look for that 90-10.
Great.
Cook thoroughly, like we were saying. You want an internal temp of 160. I would go higher. I would say 170 because 160 is done,
Yeah.
but it could still be a little pink in the middle.
How do you temp ground beef?
You put the thermometer right in the middle of the burger and the fattest
Okay, so
part of it.
I was just thinking of like ground, like when I think
Oh,
of
yeah,
ground
yeah.
beef, I think of like taco meat.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That
Yeah.
obviously is visually cooked through, but like a meatball or something like that.
Yeah. So you want to temp that 160. You want to kill all the harmful bacteria by doing that. You want to limit your ground beef intake to a few times per week.
Okay.
This is something I really struggled with for a long period of time. Incorporate lean proteins like turkey, chicken, fish, or plant-based options. And this is the big part for me. Watch your portion size. 4 ounces should be your portion size. Don't go 8. Don't go 12. Definitely don't go
Whole
16.
pound?
A whole pound of ground beef in one day. It's really not great for your body. And meat, I'm sure Christina can tell you a little bit about this, but meat can also inflame your body. And if you work out, if you exercise and you're trying to recover, yes, you're going to need that protein. But if you're eating a large portion of specifically ground beef, after you've had a really hard day of exercising, it can contribute to inflammation in your body. That's going to vary from person to person. You have more inflammation than I do, but it's still something to look out for.
That's smart.
Yeah. And then storage tips for ground beef. You want to use it within 1 to 2 days of purchasing it or freeze it. Freeze it immediately, which I didn't know this.
Okay.
I would keep my ground beef in my fridge for like a week.
Well, it makes sense because unlike a steak or a piece of chicken where you're going to for sure cook off the outside of it, with ground beef sitting in your fridge, I think bacteria, is just festering in all those little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and sometimes it bleeds on the stuff below it. You know what I'm talking about? It's awful. So my closing thoughts, ground beef can fit into a balanced diet, but moderation and quality matter.
Yes.
You have to have good ground beef, lean ground beef, and you have to eat it in moderation.
That's true.
It really matters.
Yeah.
And so to kind of return to the title of my whole section is ground beef delicious or dangerous? I think both. I think it can be both. And it can also be neither, as you've experienced with minced meat.
Yes.
But yeah, you just got to eat it in the right portions, and you just have to eat high quality ground beef, and you'll be fine.
That's
but
great.
Don't eat it like an American. Don't have a burger every day. Don't have uncooked burgers every day.
I'm thinking of when we first got married and we got our grill. I'd go buy like a 2-3 pound package of meat from Aldi, and it was like 75-25. So it's pretty, and we'd like eat the whole package.
The whole
like
thing.
we'd grill up, a pound each of burgers.
Have 2 burgers
Yeah.
each.
2 or 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were
And
small,
I was like,
but
I've had 2 burgers at this point. I'm just going to eat another burger without the bun. I'll be
yes,
healthy.
That'll be good.
I'm like, my arteries are clogging.
You want to hear some beef related jokes?
Sure.
So these were my favorite jokes. I learned them when I was like 8 or 9, and these were my go-to jokes.
Okay.
All right. What do you call a cow with only 2 legs?
Lean beef.
Lean beef.
Hey, there we go.
What do you call a cow who just gave birth?
Decaf.
Decaffeinated.
Decaffeinated. Nice.
And what do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
Ground beef.
Okay, there we go. Those are good jokes.
I thought it was hilarious. Yes, and my little thing of jokes as a kid. So
Nice. I could do some Helen Keller ones if you want me to do those.
no, maybe for another time.
Those were my go-to. Anyways, everybody, watch the quality of ground beef. Do it in moderation, and also eat chicken, eat fish. There's other kind of meat that's out there.
And don't eat meat at all. I mean, you
don't eat
can
meat
sometimes, but like tofu, beans, bunch of good.
Yeah, there's a
good
lot of
stuff out there.
plant-based stuff out there too. That's really great for you.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing.
Love it. So do you have any myths to bust regarding ground beef?
Yes, definitely. I have one myth to debunk, and that myth is that ground beef is bad for you. And the truth is that it's not inherently bad.
Yes.
Like
obviously.
I said, it's about how much, how often, and how it's cooked. So
Yeah, and if you're intaking your ground beef in the form of, a Taco Bell order or a burger with a ton of fries, then I think it's probably the extras that add to the
for
unhealthiness.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing about ground beef.
You're welcome. For this next season, we are adding a new segment.
The Enoch episodes.
No, not the Enoch episodes. We just talked about this. We're adding a segment in place of the Conspiracy Corner segment, and it's going to be called Forbidden Books of the Bible, where Christina and I will delve into books of the Bible that have been either excommunicated by certain parts of the church or have been argued to be part of the Bible, but have been excluded ultimately.
Yes.
So the first book we're going to tackle is Enoch.
Yes.
And Christina's going to give us a little introduction to that.
Yeah. So in this season of the podcast, within the Forbidden Books of the Bible segment,
Yeah.
we will be doing the Enoch
escapades.
episodes. All right, so I'm just going to tell you, this is just going to be an introduction to the book of Enoch. And we're going to talk about it for the next couple episodes, more in depth, different sections from it. And by the end, I think we're going to decide on, do we think it should have been included in the Bible? Why was it left out? Things we liked about it, things we didn't. So this won't be an entirely like in-depth or theologically sound. It's just our observations of the book of Enoch.
Yes, although we are coming out with a class. Christina
Yes.
is going to be coming out with a class in the next 10 weeks that is all about Enoch. We're going to take you through the first book of it comprehensively and go a little bit deeper. So if you're interested in that, you can email us at stufftthatwelikepodcast@gmail.com to get signed up for that.
Yes, yeah, and we'll be posting about on our social media. It'll be through the platform School, School with a K. So let's dive into the Enoch episode.
Escapades.
All right. So today we'll be exploring a text that has captivated scholars, theologians, and curious minds for centuries, and that is the Book of Enoch. This ancient book is shrouded in mystery, I would say. Some parts of the church revere it. Others debate that it shouldn't be there, and others consider it to be anathema, that we shouldn't even read it, lest we get bad ideas in our head. But in some religious groups, it is considered a sacred book of the Bible.
What's anathema?
Anathema, I think it's like, should not be, it's kind of like Voldemort.
Okay, like shouldn't be spoken of?
Yeah, well, it's like,
Something that's strongly disliked or cursed or denounced.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'll be talking today about the contents of the Book of Enoch, who wrote it, the history of the book, and some ideas on why it wasn't included in our Christian Bible today of 66 books. And then in future episodes, we'll be talking more in depth through the contents of the book. And by the end, we'll let the listener decide if it's a made-up story, if it's inspired scripture, or something in between. So pop in here if you have any thoughts. You have read this book as well.
Yeah.
So first off, what is the Book of Enoch? Simply put, it's an ancient religious text that is attributed to Enoch. He's a figure that's mentioned in the Bible as the great-grandfather of Noah. Not much is known about Enoch because he's only mentioned briefly in the Bible. In Genesis chapter 5, verses 21 through 24, it says, "When Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah, and Enoch walked with God for 300 years after he fathered Methuselah and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." Kind of an interesting verse. So he is one of two people in the Bible that it's not stated specifically that they died, which in the genealogy of Genesis, it's all talking about this guy was born and then had this child and then died at this many years. And he just kind of was not. These few short sentences describe Enoch as a righteous man who walked with God and then was not. And many biblical historians believe that this implies that Enoch was taken up to heaven and that he never experienced death.
Like Elijah?
Yes, like Elijah. The only other time Enoch is mentioned in the Bible is Hebrews 11:5, which says, "By faith Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God." So the author of Hebrews right there is just making it very clear that he did not die.
Okay.
Enoch's also mentioned in genealogies in First Chronicles and in the Gospel of Luke, which is interesting, which lists Enoch as the great times 53 more greats grandfather of Jesus.
Okay.
So he directly descends. Yeah. From Enoch. Jesus does. So now that we have a little bit of context about Enoch he was a righteous man who never died. Let's get more into talking about the actual book of Enoch. So you might be asking, who wrote the book of Enoch?
Yeah. Who was it? Enoch?
No.
Okay.
Most likely not.
All right.
It's $1 million question. Who wrote the book of Enoch? And the short answer is nobody knows. The text is traditionally attributed to Enoch himself, but scholars agree that it's very highly unlikely that Enoch wrote it himself. This is because the book of Enoch in the form that we have it today is what is considered a composite work, meaning that it was likely written by multiple authors over a period of time. That could be a short period or a very long period. Most experts believe it was composed by Jewish scribes, maybe from priestly or apocalyptic circles, so kind of people who are believing in the end of the age, who use Enoch's name to give the text authority and validity to the story it told. This was a common practice in ancient literature, and it's called pseudegraphia, which is works that are attributed to a revered figure, but they weren't actually written by them.
Pseudegraphia.
Yes.
P-S-E-U-D pseudo O-G-R-A-P-H-I-A.
Close.
Dang.
You were pretty close, actually.
What'd I get off?
It was D-E-P.
D-E.
Pseudepigraphia.
Okay.
So I left out the P when I said it.
Okay.
So while the book is Enoch's namesake, and some scholars believe that perhaps the first part of the book was actually written by him, the real authors remain anonymous and their identities are lost to history or purposely left out. Kind of like a ghost writer situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So next up, when was the book written? The book of Enoch isn't a single text, as I mentioned, but a collection of writings. And it's the most well-known version is called 1 Enoch. So First Enoch, or the Ethiopic Enoch. And that's because it's included in the Ethiopian Bible. It's the only Bible in the world that includes the book of Enoch. Even the Catholic Bible, which has the Apocrypha and has extra books in it compared to the Christian Bible or the Protestant Bible, only the Ethiopian Bible contains the book of Enoch.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So for the purposes of this podcast, I'm just going to call it the book of Enoch instead of 1 Enoch or Ethiopic Enoch. So that's what we're talking about. Scholars believe that it was likely written in between 300 to 100 BC. So about 300 to 100 years before Jesus. This places the writing in the Second Temple period of Judaism, and during this time in during this time in Israel's history. I'm going to call it Judea.
Yeah.
It was a time of intense religious and apocalyptic thought when the majority of extra biblical books were written. So those are the ones that are included in the Catholic Bible, like the Book of Jubilees, the Maccabees. And so that's why it's kind of grouped into that time. Now, you might ask, what language was it written in?
Aramaic?
So interesting. Well, it obviously wasn't originally written in English. Of course, it's ancient.
Yeah.
But the oldest complete version we have of the book is in Ge'ez, which is an ancient Ethiopian language.
Okay.
And that's why it's called the Ethiopian Enoch. But scholars believe the original texts were likely written in Aramaic, maybe Hebrew, which was the languages commonly used by Jewish communities at the time. And fragments of the Book of Enoch were also found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were these, a bunch of biblical scrolls that were found in Israel, I think in the 40s or 50s, that had full books of the Bible, the full book of, had Esther and the book of Isaiah and the Dead Sea and parts of the Book of Enoch were in there as well.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and so that added validity that whoever preserved all these books of the Bible might have thought that the Book of Enoch belonged there.
Wow.
But only parts were able to be recovered, so they weren't able to recover the whole thing. But that shows that these books, the Book of Enoch, was at least 2,000 years old. Mm-hmm. So the parts that they found in Aramaic completely match the parts that are found in the Ethiopian Bible as well.
Wow.
So word for word. So this suggests that the book was written in Aramaic and then somehow made it to Ethiopia and was translated into Ge'ez. And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but maybe my...
Is it G-A-E-Z?
It's G-E apostrophe E-Z.
Gez.
Gez.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Gez.
Guys.
This is the book.
This is the Book of Enoch, guys.
So what is the book actually about? Like I mentioned, we'll dig more into the contents in our future episodes, but I'll just give a brief synopsis right now. The Book of Enoch is divided into 5 main sections, each with their own focus. So the first section, and this is the section that some scholars believe was that Enoch himself might have written, and then other stuff was just added later on. And it's the Book of the Watchers, and it describes fallen angels called the Watchers who descend to earth, marry human women, and teach forbidden knowledge, which leads to corruption and divine judgment, which this matches a little bit about the Book of Genesis, where angels came and married human women and had children who were the Nephilim. Next, we have the Book of Parables, which includes messianic visions and prophecies about the Son of Man, a messianic type figure, which is really interesting because Jesus refers to himself as the Son of Man all throughout his time on earth. Mm-hmm. Then there's the astronomical book, which delves into celestial cycles and calendars. So a little bit of astronomy.
Yeah, that was hard to get through.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Next is the Book of Dreams, which is Enoch's visions of history. And then finally, the Epistle of Enoch, which offers moral teachings and warnings about the end times. So to sum it all up, the Book of Enoch is a mix of cosmology, angelology, and apocalyptic warnings of what's to come. So it's pretty heady stuff for an ancient text. From what I was reading, they're saying this is something you might read today in like a modern day sci-fi novel, but for being 2,000 plus years old, it was pretty ahead of its times, one might say.
For sure.
Yeah. So why is it in the Ethiopian Bible? One of the most fascinating aspects of the Book of Enoch is its place in the Ethiopian Bible. Unlike most Christian and Jewish collections of scriptures, which both exclude it, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, as well as a Jewish sect that lives in Ethiopia, both consider 1 Enoch to be canonical, inspired by God's scripture, equivalent with the Book of Genesis, anything written in the Bible.
Wow.
Why, you might ask? Well, to understand this, there's a little quick history lesson I want to give. And the message of the gospel and Christianity reached Ethiopia very early compared to the rest of the world, because Ethiopia comparatively isn't as far away as, say, China or Japan or North and South America.
Yeah.
And Ethiopian churches developed their own distinct traditions that were different from other Christians, just because they were the word, the gospel got to them, Christianity, the Old and New Testament, and then they were kind of separate from what's going on in the modern world. The Book of Enoch was likely preserved because it resonated with some of their theological and cultural perspectives. Also, if they didn't know any different, that book made it to them along with the rest of the Bible. Why wouldn't they think it should be in the Bible?
Yeah.
And so it was translated into Ge'ez and became an official part of their Bible, which includes other books that aren't found in standard Bibles. So in fact, the Ethiopian Bible has 15 extra books.
Wow.
That standard Bibles do not have. The Ethiopian church's isolation from later Western debates about what should be included in the Bible likely helped preserve the Book of Enoch remaining in the Ethiopian Bible, because around the year 200, 300 AD is when church leaders got together and kind of like, this book should be in the Bible, this shouldn't. And they're just over in Ethiopia, just chilling and reading the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
So you may ask, why isn't it in other Bibles?
Yeah.
Great question. It was widely circulated among Jewish and Christian communities, but by the 4th century AD, it fell out of favor in most religious traditions. For Jewish communities, it was likely excluded due to its focus on mystical content, which didn't align with their religious traditions. Also, some people speculate the heavy focus on the Son of Man narrative throughout the Bible. Through the Book of Enoch, which Jews don't believe that Jesus was the Son of Man. So it's kind of adding to, this is a prophecy that was completed through Jesus' coming. For Christians, the book was largely set aside by early church fathers when they formalized the Bible, because they favored biblical books that had more certain connections to the likelihood that they were inspired by God. So they kept all the Old Testament, which was already decided by the Jews. And then with the New Testament, they chose books that were either written by somebody who directly knew Jesus or knew a disciple of Jesus. And so Enoch's this he died a long time ago. This book was written a couple hundred years ago. There's not any clear connections. So despite not being in most Bibles, the Book of Enoch has certainly left its mark. It has influenced early Jewish and Christian thought, especially ideas around angels, demons, and the Messiah. Some scholars even see echoes of its imagery in the New Testament, like in the Book of Revelation, which is very interesting. And the Book of Enoch is also both directly quoted and alluded to in several books found in the New Testament, which shows that likely people who wrote the New Testament
thought it was included in Scripture.
Thought that it was scriptural, or at least important in their day. It's found in the Book of Jude, Peter, things like that. It was also revered by early church fathers like Tertullian, who firmly believed it was divinely inspired scripture.
Okay.
Yeah. So to wrap up, that's a wrap up of my intro on the Book of Enoch. If you're intrigued by the contents of this book, tune into our upcoming episodes. Next week, we're going to talk through the first 12 chapters of the first section of the Book of Enoch, which is the Book of the Watchers, which is personally my favorite part of the book. It's the part that I could see most likely being a real story.
Same.
Yeah. So if you want to read the book for yourself, I'd recommend ordering the Book of Enoch online from Amazon. The one written by Tim Alberino is really good. He adds in some footnotes and connections to where different verses were mentioned in the New Testament. So I'll put a link in the description. And along with that, you can just read it on a website, the same translation for free. The website is called bookofenoch.com.
Cool.
Yep. So it can be listened through audiobook on that website as well, if you just want to listen to it. So yeah, we're just going to kind of try something new and go through this interesting book for this season.
I'm super excited about it. I really like going through it the first time, especially the Book of the Watchers. That's probably my favorite part. But there's a majority of, I don't know, there's a lot of things in the Book of Enoch that I look at and have not necessarily changed my perspective on what the end times will look like or what the throne room will look like even, but have given my brain kind of new inspiration because for my mind's eye, I've read Revelation so many times and been like, okay, well, I know this part says that the throne room looks like this and that God looks like this and Jesus is at the right hand. But when I went through Book of Enoch, there's so many different descriptions of what the throne room could possibly look like, and even like what the end times is how it's going to unfold. And so it was just really cool to shake up the perspective in my mind's eye around what these things could possibly look like. Even though Enoch isn't necessarily considered a book of the Bible, I think that the first and second parts of Enoch, it's the Watchers, and what was the second book? It was
the Book of the Parables.
Book of the Parables. I think those two for me actually are the closest to being something I would include in Scripture. Because I don't think there's anything necessarily too blasphemous in those.
Yeah, well, that's why it was debated enough that it could be included. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really stoked. I'm really excited about this. And like we said, Christina will be coming out with a class about it. We're stoked on doing that too. But for now, follow along. Like you said, we're doing chapters 1 through 12.
Yes, which is the equivalent to like 5 pages. The chapters are like 4 or 5 verses.
Super short. What are you most excited about for going through the Book of Enoch?
I don't know. I think it's just interesting. I like making the connections to the New Testament authors and what they thought of this book. I don't know. And there's some what would be considered prophetic material in there that I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Jesus did say stuff related to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'll just be kind of fun. I think it's fun to just do something different. We've been switching up every season, so to conspiracies, and this is kind of just a whole season of a conspiracy.
Exactly. Yeah, the biblical conspiracies. That would have been a better name.
Oh, we could do that.
No, we got it.
Forbidden Books of the Bible with the Enoch episodes.
The biblical conspiracies. Yeah,
it's like those big textbooks that have like 4 titles.
The newspaper that has one giant headline. Just keeps going. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, cool.
So we are doing a bi-weekly newsletter, as it turns out. We started doing it about a month ago. It's going really well. Christina, what's something that we put in the last newsletter that you're excited to share with people?
It's fun. We're adding in some recipes that we enjoy, some travel tips for places we've gone, little excerpts from blogs that we've written.
Books that we're reading, which the one in our previous newsletter was actually the Book of Enoch.
Yes.
So you can go there and see what we liked about it exactly.
Yeah, so it's just something kind of fun. It's a compilation of all the stuff, which is the name of the newsletter. Just different things that we like that we can't talk about in a podcast or make posts about because we just don't have the time for. So if you're a visual learner? Reader?
I don't know.
If you're a reader on digital platforms, subscribe to our newsletter. You can get the link to it through our Instagram, which is all the stuff that we like podcast, as well as our email, which is stuff that we like podcast@gmail.com. So be on the lookout for, a Instagram post is probably the easiest way to click on that link and get that newsletter delivered hot and fresh into your inbox every other Wednesday.
Piping hot. And just a reminder, this is going to cost money eventually. And so if you don't get in now, you will have to pay for the newsletter. So be grandfathered in, be cool, and sign up now. All right, people, back to your show. Next on this podcast, we like to recommend something to our lovely listeners. Christina, what's something you have to recommend this week?
I would like to recommend using clear mascara for the flyaways on your hair.
Oh my God.
So it's something I introduced Caleb to recently. We actually have it sitting right there. Can you hand it to me?
Yeah, it's called Wet and Wild. So just so everybody knows, my wife uses Wet and Wild.
It's a clear mascara. It's like probably $3 on Amazon, but it is great because you can just pull it out. It's so funny. I wasn't intending to be there. And you can just use it to pull down the little flyaways on your hair.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about those little sprigs sticking up on the part of your hair. And Caleb just used it.
She did it on, I know the rest of my hair is ridiculous right now, but she did it on the top, like the crown of my head. And I have had flyaways since I've had hair. And Christina just now introduced me to this. It is changing my life as we speak.
This last half an hour has been
this last
life-changing.
half an hour, I have actually felt 3% content, or 3 out of 10.
3%. We're getting
3%.
real low. Yeah, so that's my recommend. If you struggle with flyaways, you can also use it on your eyebrows, you know?
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a good recommend.
Thank you. What about you, babe?
I recommend coconut flakes. You
All
had
right.
those?
I have.
Yeah, they're delicious. So at night, I like to have me a little snack.
He's a snacker.
I like to be naughty. And I like to have a little snack at night. Okay? So what I do is I get a rice cake. I chop up a banana. I put that banana on the rice cake. And I make sure every inch is covered.
Why are you talking to me like this?
Because I want you to know.
I do know. I
want you to
see it. I
know.
see it every night. Tell the camera.
Then I drizzle a little honey on there. Mm-hmm. I just a little honey on there. I become a bear for a minute. I'm like, give me some honey. and then I take coconut flakes and I sprinkle them on top.
Yes.
And let me tell you, the coconut flakes changed the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Originally, it was kind of like a Rice Krispie with a little sugar on top from the banana and the honey. Mm-hmm. But the coconut flakes turn it into almost like a pastry of sorts.
Yeah, elevates it.
Yeah, because it has the crunch on the bottom and a little bit of crunch on the top. So people out there, you're trying to spice up your boring, healthy snack.
Get a dumb rice cake, put a dumb banana on it, a little bit of honey, that's wild.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then put some coconut flakes on there because it does spice things up in the kitchen.
It's great to spike your glucose levels right when you go to bed.
Right before.
Yeah, literally most nights, Caleb's like, all right, we're going to bed. And then I go and hop in bed and then I hear him in the kitchen crunching on a rice cake. You know, it's like you have to eat immediately before bed, no matter what. I love
that's
it.
what I recommend.
Great recommend.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us today on this podcast. We're excited for y'all to come along with us on the second year of the podcast, and we'll see you next week.
All right. This has been stuff that we like / enjoy, at least at this point in time.
Bye.
Bye.